Cheers! Welcome to my channel. This daily tarot oracle reading, Tattletales from Tales from the Vector, is a collective or general reading. Please be aware that parts of it may or may not resonate with you. My goal is to provide you with valuable information to empower you. I've already shuffled the cards. I just wanted to give them a quick cut, and we will begin with the underlying energy from the bottom of the deck. And that is Temperance. Temperance is actually a Sagittarius energy. We just had the new moon in Sagittarius 2 days ago now. And this energy, Temperance, is about being patient and being on your journey, having devotion to the path that you were put on the earth to be on. And Sagittarius isn't really normally known for being the most patient of all signs. They prefer action. So this is talking about really being devoted to pouring into yourself and doing what you came here to do on the planet. So this will be good. And the first card out is the Wounded Warrior. I'm just double checking that I have this set up correctly. There we go. I want to make sure that you are able to see the cards when I'm finished here. Sorry. I've been moving things about a little bit today, and I just want to make sure. So here we have the Wounded Warrior. The Wounded Warrior, the Nine of Wands, represents... Oh, come here, Sal. Good girl. My cat. The Nine of Wands is representing someone. These are like 8 actions of yours or someone else's behind you, and it's been obviously quite a struggle. The Wounded Warrior is someone, it's saying that staying on your path has been very challenging. And, you can see this person's been through it, but it's, they're leaning on the 9th wand here. And this is the one closest to their heart. So this is the next action that they're taking. There's 10 wands in all. So these are seeds that were planted by actions of them or others that are making, and for whatever reason, it's been a bit of a challenge here, or quite a bit of a challenge. We have 10 Pentacles. So 10 of Pentacles is like having the lifestyle, health, wealth, abundance. Pentacles are about, they're about money, about the coin, but it's also lifestyle, like abundance of everything that you want on the planet Earth. And so that perhaps it's been a struggle to work towards that, to have that lifestyle. This is, it's raining money. You have the mansion in the background, living in a neighborhood with, time to stop and chat with your neighbors. There's the children, the pets, the couple, that kind of energy. So it looks good. It looks quite, the 2 pictures paint a totally different picture though. So what's going on with this? Okay, 2 different worlds really. So it's talking about that this world card is the 21st card in the Major Arcana. It's the final stop on the Fool's journey. And I'm just looking, I'm trying to figure out what this is trying to say here. So the world is like the end of a cycle. We are moving from the, so we're moving, I get it. Okay, we're moving from 2025 in what? Like it's the 22nd today, so it would be, and in 8 days we're going to have, or 8 or 9 days, we're going to have the new year. And the 2025, 2 plus 2 plus 5 equals 9. And 9 is the end of a cycle. So it's not just the end of a year that we're leaving. It's the end of like a decade, basically, of a cycle. A 9-year cycle moving into the 10th year. 2026 is 2 plus 2 plus 6 is 10. And that's a 1 year. So this is saying 2025 has been really challenging. to stay on your path. And 2026, though, as we move into 2026, it's going to be very different. A whole new world. Yay! So if you found that the last 10 years have been extremely challenging for you, this is your reading. And it's going to change, and it's going to be like a whole new world when this cycle ends in 2025 and moving to 2026. Okay, I got it. And then this is justice. So some form of justice is coming in, and it's going to change the way you live. Like you're going from this to this. And it's because it's a reward from the Most High for staying on your path. And this card, sometimes people consider this to be the earth angel. Like in the Bible, it says there's 144,000. I'm not sure exactly how it is worded, but a lot of people believe there's 144,000 earth angels on the planet that do God's work. And this is saying you are one of them that was given a very challenging, difficult mission. And in 2026, that cycle, that 10-year cycle that you've been in, that's been very challenging, is now over. So that it's kind of between 2000. So go back and think about 2015 to 2016. Was there something that happened that requires justice now? That's been keeping you kind of in this energy rather than in this energy. And so the justice is redemption also from karma. It is about like she's sitting in between two pillars, two extremes, evil and good, bad or positive, negative, that kind of energy, weak, strong. And behind her is a veil. And this veil represents the veil in between the spiritual world and the 3D world. So it's saying that the justice is coming in from for ancestors as well as you and your descendants. When you have 10 of Pentacles, that represents legacy for wealth, and also like old money, kind of like an inheritance or something like that. It represents generational wealth, and then something that you can really build on. And then we have talking about this card can be read two ways here. These wands are actions, as I said, that you or others planted, and this looks like you're bringing home, like you planted these, they grew, this is the harvest, and they're very heavy because they're just dripping with fruit. It's kind of that energy, and you're actually way closer to where you need to be. Your home is just here, but this person can't see because they've been so busy carrying all these burdens. Sometimes this represents someone who is carrying other people's burdens or has been burdened by other people's actions. So we'll see here. And then we have the Six of Pentacles. So there's something about the Pentacles that's been burdensome, because this is about giving and taking. And this is about the seeds that you planted. And it's like there's only 6 pentacles here instead of 10. And it's about this person's receiving pentacles and this one isn't. And this can be read that this one has something already in their pocket. And that could be like representing someone that was a pickpocket, that kind of energy. So this is about the give and take of your time, give and take of your energy, give and take of, really having had something taken from you and given to someone else. That's the kind of energy, or an unfair exchange here. And the scales of justice are right here. So if it was someone that was a pickpocket, a grifter, that kind of energy, a schemer, then this is this justice coming in, and you having that you having justice because something was taken from you that by someone that it didn't belong to. it feels like this money here, this legacy of wealth, this generational wealth, was distributed unfairly, is the kind of energy. And then we have the Knight of Swords coming through. So the Knight of Swords is the knight. They worked for the king. In the old days, they used to be the only way of communication between the countries, etc. And so the knights would deliver messages and protect the palace, etc. This knight, the Knight of Swords, the swords represent your thoughts, your mental intelligence, and words, like of using your words to communicate. You can see this person's in a rush. Sometimes this indicates a fool rushing in, or it could be someone that doesn't have the full information because we can't see the point of his sword. He's either, angry or very anxious and needs to get there to deliver the message. And the horse is even, like, if you look at the horse is like even stressed out. He's really pushing, like he's got to get this message in. These days, this message could be coming in, in so many different ways. It is highly unlikely that it's going to be by horse, but having said that, it could be by mail. It could be coming in. Maybe this is saying you never received some mail. Like, that's the energy I'm getting. Like, how through rain and snow and sleet and whatever, sorry, post office people, that the mail will always get through. Here in Canada, we've had 2 strikes right around this time of year that have been very challenging for businesses because the post office has been on strike, and so the mail wasn't getting through, and that's the energy I'm picking up. This could also be an email, could be a social media post, text, a phone call, that kind of energy. So we'll see. So what I'm doing here is I'm building a pyramid, and this is the bottom line. So this is what you have to work with. And then we're going to move into what are the obstacles to be able to get to this. You're on your path and you're wanting to get to the sun there. And this is talking about, like it being very challenging, like as we said, and then moving into the new year, and it's going to be different because of justice, and you won't have to carry this burden, or whatever you worked so very hard for is going to come in for you. In the past, it's looking like you only received 6 of the 10 pentacles that you should have received, and there's some sort of communication coming in regarding that. And then we have rowing off to calmer waters with God. So if you're on your destined path and this happened, that you've been suffering something because of, not receiving the information you needed to receive, that's the energy I feel like. It's like, I keep seeing mail for some reason, like the post office. And then we have the 6 of Swords here, and this is about, you notice the waters are very rough here, and here the waters are smooth. So this is like, now you're going to be able to row offshore, take a boat and go across to calmer waters and have more calm in your life. This is talking about having to dig very deep, like, because he has to use this pole to, get the boat moving and really get it down deep into the water to get this moving. Sometimes this indicates someone who is healing their inner child, and we'll see what this is about. They're taking 2 thoughts with them, and all these other thoughts are just kind of at the helm. Like, this is kind of an energy of a lot of being under a lot of mental strain. And then we have the Star. So it's again saying this energy. So the Star this card is saying you were born to shine. You are a child of the universe, a child of God. You're dipping into the universal waters, and you notice like there's 2 vessels here, and then there's 2 vessels here. So this is representing pouring energy from the universe into you know, and then pouring that onto the earth. And so bringing from what you came here to do and bringing that through and getting, pouring it onto the earth. And there's 5 streams here. And those 5 streams represent, you know, your lifestyle and like everything that you're building on the planet. Health, wealth, happiness. That also includes money, of course. Coin. The pentacles are coin. They do represent money, but not more of an abundance of everything in the 3D world that you were here to obtain. And it's talking about there was some competition. And so that's confirming that there is some sort of injustice here by competition for whatever is yours, whatever you were supposed to get. You didn't receive it because competition stepped in. So this is my Mean Girls card. So this energy is talking about, you know, narcissistic cheerleader energy, immature attitude towards competition. And so this energy is talking about, you know, these are adolescents and they're all fighting and then one is just watching. So it's kind of talking about that bully energy in high school, middle school and high school kind of energy. And this is like narcissistic cheerleaders. If they don't succeed to win, then their mothers will. That's the kind of energy. It's generational immaturity. This is people who don't realize that even when it appears that you're in competition, that you're really not in competition with the other team. You're not in competition with, you know, others. What you are in competition with is yourself, to be the best version that you can be. Like if you're the quarterback for a football team, you have to be your best version, or probably the team's not going to win, regardless of how the competition plays. It's that kind of energy. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune. So this is kind of talking about the direction your path is taking. That's what the vector is. The tails from the vector are dragons that came from in my oracle that came in from the Intergalactic Federation of Light, and it's talking about the direction that you're headed right now. So only God can tell what really is going to happen in the world. Tarot is not meant to really make predictions like that. It's about to look at the cards and recognize, okay, this is the direction and the speed you're headed, and you know, like, so that's actually mathematical equation of the vector. So if you think about quarterback, since we use that example here, throwing a ball, the ball, it's about the direction and how fast is it going to arrive there. And so depending on your actions, that's going to change. So when you look at these cards, you can kind of get an idea, oh, okay, that's where I'm headed. And that's what this is saying. This is what's happened in the past. These are the tools and these are the obstacles that you've been up against, but it's changing because it's on that world and justice again here. And then we're moving into from 25 to 26. And you were left out in the cold and received only half the money that you should have received, if that. That's what the energy is saying. So it's sitting right on here. And that is what the justice is regarding. So I don't know what your situation would be for that. These people have been left out in the cold, and usually this regards, there was some sort of tactics, maybe from the competition, people in competition with you. Now, this can be talking about your work. You know, you might have a career somewhere, you might be working for a company, and it's like the co-workers, that kind of energy. Or it could be, if it's something that happened in your love life, it could be, you know, somebody, like this can represent people in your life that weren't supportive. This can represent tactics that were used against you. This energy is talking about snowflakes. Like, we've got a lot of snow here and I'm from Canada. And so this energy actually says that these people, like this one doesn't even have shoes and this one's crippled, but they've decided to collaborate with each other and to do their best to get through with what little they do have left. And this is a church in the background. There's a stained glass window here. They could go into the church for respite, but they've decided to carry on and collaborate with each other to move forward on their goals. So that's talking about that kind of energy. And the reason why they've been left out in the cold, it's kind of like being ostracized from society for some reason. It's being like given the cold shoulder. You know, they've been given the cold shoulder. It's that kind of energy. And then here, right on here again, we have the Death card. And we just had the solstice last night. So the solstice is when here in the North American hemisphere, when the longest night has occurred, and now we have the shortest day. But from now on, it's light after the end of the tunnel. So things are going to change, and there's going to be more light. And so you'll be able to come out of the dark, out of the cold. That's what the energy here is. And it's again emphasizing that there's an end of a cycle from 2025 to 2026, that it's going to be different. This is the Grim Reaper. The Grim Reaper is not an evil figure. It is not meant to be. It's actually, a lot of cultures consider the Grim Reaper as a symbol of death. The Death card in tarot actually means transition. So it can be from death and rebirth. You see the sun in the background there through those two pillars. And this is kind of saying birth and death are very similar. You know, you go through the tunnel, it's dark, and then there's light. And this card, it's so interesting because it's coming up here on, okay, the year's going to change, and the solstice is now. And we just had the Sagittarian energy from the new moon on the 19th, 20th. It's the 22nd as I do this reading now. So we're moving. It's saying this energy is going to change now around the solstice. You're going to start feeling it coming in, and also from the Sagittarian new moon. All the action here is representing the Sagittarius new moon, I feel. So this is talking about there's going to be quite a shift here. And with the king here being trampled, that's saying that it's not like actually trampling a king. That's not what it's meant to represent. It's meant to represent that the systems are changing, the way things are done are changing. So the way things were done in the last 9-10 years are done now, and that's over. And it's something about you having, because you've had the patience, you're back on your journey. This was part of your journey. Getting it was a very difficult time, and this is representing past, present, future. So this energy can be talking about like this was all in the past, and now you already are in this newer energy, or in the present, or it will be very soon in the future. And then we have the King of Pentacles. So this energy is right on all these pentacles here and the missing money. So now the King of Pentacles is sitting on their throne. There's someone who's really known for their business acumen. Like this is someone who's like a professional a financial advisor, insurance salesman, planning for your retirement kind of energy. It can be the CEO of a company, the head financial advisor of a company. It can represent government, because top officials that are in charge of the dollar of a country, that kind of energy and all the systems involved in that. So it's sitting here. So either the King of Pentacles is bringing this justice in, or this King of Pentacles caused the injustice, and that's what's going to be changed. I can't tell yet. So this is the tools you have, the obstacles you've come against, and now this is about having the courage to change it. And then we have, and once this changes, there's going to be 10 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles, and 10 of Cups. That's like ultimate fulfillment in the 3D, and then ultimate fulfillment in your love life, your romantic life, as well as the cups represent everything that you love. So if this was something that you love was taken from you, it's going to be returned tenfold. And this is coming from above as well onto the 3D. So the 10 of Cups is, it can be like, okay, you have the partner you want, you have you're living where you love your work, you love your community, you know, you love your country where you are, you love how your lifestyle is, that kind of energy. That's what's coming in. Yay. That's good news. And then we have the High Priestess. So the High Priestess is sitting on her throne, and that's right on Justice here. And in between these two. So the High Priestess sits close to God. She's right by, on the right side of God on the throne. And this is talking about the extremes of evil and good, negative, positive, weak, strong energy, that kind of the difference between two extremes. And it's also bringing up again the new moon that we just had in Sagittarius. So this energy is talking about using your intuition to get to the truth about what occurred here. And yes, and there, I told you, she sits on the right side of the sun. Right there. The sun represents God. This happiness and all of this, the coin, so happiness in the spiritual and the physical realm is part of your mission. And you were intended to have this so that you could continue on your mission. So now God and the universe are stepping in to give you what was destined for you. And, you know, people sometimes think that they can get away with taking from, you know, stealing. Taking is another word. Stealing can be another word for taking it. If you take something that's not yours, that's the energy. And this is the happiest card in the deck. So do you notice that here, this banner and this banner look very similar? And it's once this justice comes in, you'll be able to be the star that you were meant to be. You'll have all that you need in both the spiritual realm and in the physical realm, the 5D and 3D, to be able to continue your mission, which was ordained by God. So if someone thought that they were going to take something from you and they got away with it, they're wrong, because this is God's plan, and this might have been part of God's plan too. And because the wounded warrior works for God, and that's what you came in to do, is work for God. And this child is riding this pony and is holding this banner, and it's heavy. Look how big it is, but they're totally able to handle it with one hand. And the sunflowers represent like always turning to follow the sun. And the sun, of course, is the Most High. The life force energy unleashed. And then, and bringing in a passion for new discovery. So this Ace of Wands energy represents like having a passion for life again, having passion for your mission again. Whatever you came here to do, you're going to have everything you need to do it, and it's going to bring you a lot of happiness and love in your life. And yeah, because you're hanging out with God on the 3D, and you know, being able to have everything you need to fulfill your destiny. And then we have, okay, so this energy is having the courage, and now this is your heart's desires. So at some point you had to walk away from your heart's desires. There's 8 cups here, so this was a lot of energy was put into something that you love, or someone that you love. This can be a family. This could be, you know, a lover, a lover that you had, or lovers that you've had in the past, and having to walk away from that energy. So it could be a business that you had, that kind of energy. Like it's basically talking about here and here, the lifestyle that you did not receive that, and you're walking away from that now. And again, we have the new moon and the full moon. So the full moon in December was on the 4th, and that was in Gemini. And that's all about learning and kind of being at that stage where you're at the beginning stage of school. And so if you think of the planet Earth as a school, it's kind of like, okay, that phase is over. You're walking away from it. It's a game emphasizing that the wounded warrior is now going to have what they need to complete their journey, because you have, it required you to walk away from everything you love to stay on your journey is what's, and it just feels like this is really sad. Like it's just having to walk away from everything that you love that you had built up to this point, and just having to turn your back on it. And otherwise you wouldn't be on God's path. It was required of you to do this. And that's the energy of the King of Swords is coming in. So this energy is talking about the competition and the burdens and the justice. And so the King of Swords represents, it can represent someone who's a professional, someone that uses their words to be able to earn their living. The King of Swords is totally aware of the power of words, and this is kind of like the King of Swords is at the top authority figure. And the King of Swords understands, creates law. This could be a judge, prosecutors, this could be heads of country, like people that in the Supreme Court that make the final decisions regarding an entire country. This could be actual kings, that kind of energy. And it's talking about making law and following law. And also this could represent people who speak for a living, like some, that they use their words, not actions so much, to be able to get their point across. One person that, that comes up for me that I can think of is like Charlie Kirk sitting on his throne, and teaching people at universities about how to argue properly, about how, using your mind and your intellectual abilities to be able to argue a point. And I feel like that's the kind of energy, like dedicating yourself to a path of doing that, and being like teaching people how to use critical thinking. That's the energy. That's something that, we go to university to learn how to use critical thinking, how to use your words to be able to move forward. And so, and to make the world a better place. And then we have this energy of this or that. So this energy is talking about thinking that there's only two ways to do something. It's this way or that way. So that energy is overthinking, having a closed mind sometimes. And so the energy of not being able to see past something or towards something. And this is talking about, I feel like this is talking about the world in general right now, that it's going to change because of we moved from the Piscean age into the age of Aquarius back in 2020. And the age of Aquarius is much more experimental, and there's a lot more, we have AI. And so it's kind of like the energy between what does a human being have to say? Like, humans are not perfect. Charlie might not have been perfect in his words, but his heart was in teaching young people that it matters, that their words matter, and what they have to say matters. And whether he did it perfectly or imperfectly, it's a double-edged sword. Some people loved him, some people didn't. But the energy was like, in his heart, he was doing what he felt God wanted him to do. And that's why he sticks out kind of as like someone that is really showing like this energy. And, a lot of people felt like it was this or that. And he had a lot of opinions too that were this or that. Having said that, he had the courage to go out and speak his truth. And that's kind of the energy that I'm picking up here, is someone who is dedicated enough to their goal that they will speak their truth regardless of whether it being very challenging to do so. and whether or not other people agreed with it was not. It wasn't about other people agreeing with it. It was about doing what you felt you came on this planet to do, and bringing in new energy and new life, to the discussion, to the I guess you would call it, to the debate. That's what it is. I feel like that's where we are kind of in the earth. We've got all this AI intelligence against human intelligence, which is better. I feel the human intelligence is better. Having said that, the AI can really empower human beings, or it can go the other way and be really detrimental, and depending on who you talk to. It's that kind of energy. And then we have the King of Wands, and the King of Wands is sitting on his throne, and he's a visionary looking into the future. And that's what the energy that I'm picking up here is, someone that sees a vision and they go after that vision, because that's the action that they take. The King of Wands is someone who's thinks like way outside the box, uses their intuition and their logic, and they take action on that. And so this can be someone like an entrepreneur. It can be someone, like that has a vision that's in the future more. Someone that is willing to experiment and invent, and that kind of energy. And the King of Wands in the background here, there's salamanders there. And they are like, the circular salamander represents protection from fire, and the lion, like, regardless of your fears, still stepping out and having the courage to go after your heart's desires. So we've got that energy there. And then we have the Chariot. My voice is leaving me for some reason. I think it's just the sadness of life, and this, because this is talking about the destiny, the being on your path, and that path being so very difficult. And then, in Charlie's case, having it end so soon, and the sacrifices now that his family, his children are going to have to make without having their father. And it's, that kind of energy. It's like a double-edged sword. It's, loving what you do, but sometimes the result of doing what you love, other people don't agree with it, and it doesn't always end in a real pleasant way. And so that's, but this was someone that was on their path. They were fully, there's no reins here. This is someone that was doing what they felt God wanted them to do. And this is talking about justice coming in for it, and it moving forward really quickly. Like, it's already starting to happen. And there's a cup of love coming in. So this energy is like knight in shining armor, like the actual, when you read about in the romance novels and in the romantic movies, etc. Like someone who's very well dressed, very sure of themselves, and they are sure that they want to deliver this cup of love. And so this love can be romantic love, someone that something that this can be like your ultimate partner. And it also can be about delivering something. The message is delivering something that you love to do or love to be. And when you walk away from these 8 cups, you're not really totally walking away from, like, to start from scratch again. You are walking away from what you, and taking what you learned from all of this and applying that. So we'll see if this is romantic. Oh, there's the devil energy coming in. So the devil represents temptation, and that temptation is sitting right on this King of Swords and this energy here. And here's God right here. Here's the devil, and here's God. And this is the happiest card in the deck. So the God is like, the devil is sitting right on top right there. This is talking about temptation. It's like 2 lovers that are chained to the box of Saturn is what it is. And this is about being chained, but when you look, their chains are quite loose, so they could escape them. And so this is talking about some sort of form of temptation coming in. And this energy, I'm going to cover it. You're not going to get the truth from the devil, because that's temptation to do, not to follow your path. And what is this? Okay, I'm covering it. Either the devil sends in minions to do their dirty work, or this is God sending in that he was covered. Like that energy that you are covered in whatever it is. If you're doing God's work, then you've passed through some portal here. And this is talking about, like, if you are on the up and up and you're going on your path, and you say, this quite often talks about entrepreneurship, that you have planted these, you've done everything you can here, and now you're moving on to new horizons to, take action in a different way, but still doing God's work. That's the energy. Never-ending nightmare. So this energy being of, something that is just, you wake up in the middle of the night and you're totally distressed and anxious, and it's a never-ending nightmare. It's not anything that you feel like you can fix, like you're stuck in it, you're caught in it, no matter what you do. And so this energy can also be enlightenment that comes from the Most High. And generally that'll happen in the wee hours of the morning. So it's kind of like between 2 and 4 in the morning. You'll wake up from a dream and it'll be like, oh, I've got to remember this dream because it was, it showed me these are the steps of action I need to take to be able to move forward. And this blanket here, this quilt, has cosmic symbols on it. So this is representing the fact that the universe does have you covered, even when it's the hardest. And we just ended, the solstice. Like the solstice was last night, and now the nights are becoming shorter and the days are becoming longer. So there's going to be more light shed on the situation. The sun is the happiest card in the deck, but it's also sheds light on a situation so that you can have peace, that you can let go of it finally. And then we have the Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles is a reward from God for staying on your path. It's for being on the path of your North Star. The North Star being your guiding light. The North Star is what you were destined to come on the planet to do, and this is a reward now for you to be able for staying on that path and doing the work that you came here to do, and it was work for the Most High and for the entire universe. And then we have conception here. So conception can actually mean conception, or it can be conception of the egg of life. I feel like this is the actions here. There's eight wands below, like behind, that have already happened, and now you're leaning on this 9th wand. So it's a whole new world. As we said here, there's going to be a big change coming in for you, and for the planet. I'm getting from 2025 to 2026. And this is kind of really interesting too, because on, I think, February 19th, we will have the Chinese New Year, which is moving from the year of the snake, which is about shedding your skin to be able to be all new, and moving into the year of the horse. So the year of the horse is about moving forward with high spirits. And, if you think of horses, how beautiful they are and how strong they are, and how graceful they are. So that kind of energy, and that the energy is saying, whatever you are destined for, whatever you did, you're on, those have been launched, those arrows. And it's interesting also because this is Sagittarius energy along with this, think about the archer is actually drawing back their bow, an arrow, and they shoot for the target, and it's saying the target of whatever, all that you went through for the last decade, basically, that it's going to come into fruition for you now, because you're leaning now on, the new wand that's come in. Really, really cool energy. And that was a Sagittarius new moon that we just had a couple days ago. Really, and I think we're moving into the Capricorn. I have to look it up, but I'm pretty sure that the full moon on January 3rd is the Capricorn. So you'll have an opportunity to release, if you haven't released everything that moving into the new year. It's about, okay, if you haven't released and it hasn't shown up yet, keep working on it. Don't give up. Whatever you're doing, because you're almost there. It's saying again, you're almost there. We have, going from the bottom to the top, back down again, we have this energy of the wounded warrior having really been through it. But the cycle of that is ending. There's some energy about the King of Pentacles. I still not sure which way, what that is, if that's you, because we also have the King of Wands. And so the King of Pentacles is more about money and 3D world, abundance. And the King of Wands is about the visionary that brings that in. We have the Chariot here. So it's destiny, being on your path and being rewarded for that. That all the work that you have put behind you is now about to land. This never-ending nightmare. It's like the eclipse. It's gradually, I feel it's not going to be like suddenly, everything's so much better overnight. It's more like gradually there's going to be more light than dark, just like how the solstice is. And it's also talking about, that's a cycle that we go through over and over again. Every season of winter, we have that longest day and shortest night. If you're in Australia, on the other side of the world, it's opposite right now. You're in, you're moving into your summer months. So it's talking about, though, the perfect, there's, the back and forth of the world, like the extremes, and one part of the world, it's summer, and the other part of the world, it's winter, that kind of energy. And then we have about moving forward with this. I feel like it's with this one that the wounded warrior is leaning on, and having had to really give up a lot to have it, but that you have a passion to move forward now, because the justice is being served, and we're going to be able to move forward. A lot of times that might be, again, I feel like this is representing this wand here and here. And here, that kind of energy, this passion for moving forward. And in calmer waters with God, you're on your path. And I feel like, again, this energy is saying this is already, this communication is already coming in, like it's already started. And so let's see what this is about further. I will clarify this. If you're enjoying this reading, please do like and comment. And that really helps me build my channel, and I really appreciate it. And then I'm just tuning into this energy here. I'm using the cards I'm going to clarify with. It's my Oracle that I started back in 2007. I'm an artist, and I did a lot of paintings, 64 of them. Some of them are really large dragons. This is courtesy of the Intergalactic Federation of Light. And I finished the 64th painting in 2020, and now I'm working on bringing the deck out and gathering the information. I've had the cards out and about at seminars and that, but I didn't have the entire deck done at the time. And so I have a website, talesfromthevector.com, TAILS from thevector.com. And so that I have the numbers of the paintings as they appear in my gallery. If you want to check it out, you can go ahead and do so. It might give you some more information that empowers you. It feels like, it's been a pretty difficult path for, it has, I feel like it has for the last, you know, we think about like, because this is talking about the energy from 2000, you know, around the end of 2015 going into 2016. Think about this last decade. Has it been gentle? No. A lot of people went through a lot in 2020. You know, the world changed a lot then. Now we've got all this AI coming in that everybody's doing their best to deal with. We've had a lot of information come out in the last, you know, while here that's just, you know, and a lot of people feel like, oh, the world's going to shift, but I don't. I feel like the world has always had that potential, clearly. You know, you can look on the bright side or the dark side of life, really. But I feel like we do have more information now that's available at the snap of a finger. And with the AI, it's becoming more and more challenging to understand, is this real or is this fake news kind of energy? My cards are like, I'm just tuning in because I want to, okay, here's the one that wants, the Hierophant wanted to pop out. So this is coming up like, here it is. The 5 Pentacles here, that's the Hierophant. So whatever this energy was here, that needs to be cleaned up. This energy, the Hierophant is stepping in. It's talking about traditional structure. So I feel, yeah, well, clearly, like we want to find out, you know, what's happening in the world right now. There's a lot of information coming out about a lot of shift in the world. And it's kind of like we're getting to the truth in some ways, you know. And, the truth is not necessarily gentle, is it? You know, so that's, I feel the energy. And when that's happening on the world as a whole, then what's happening is it trickles down to people in our our daily lives. And in our daily lives as people, you might think, well, what can I do? I'm just one person, and look at look what's happening in the world. What am I supposed to do? If you have the integrity within yourself, and you that's how you live your life, in your integrity, on your path, doing good for the world, then you're one less person at least that's a problem for the universe to deal with. But it's more than that, because you're setting the tone for the people around you, that this is how you want to live your life, and staying on the up and up, you know. Having compassion and that kind of energy. So the Cancer energy is talking about the moon again. So yeah, I keep getting the moon, the moon, the moon. You know, there's something about the moon like that's extra important right now. The zodiac signs, when they come up in my readings, especially in a general reading like this, I'm not really, you may notice that some of the zodiac signs represent people you know and in your situation. That's not, that may be true, it's extra information for you, but my intention is more to look at the stage of life that the sign represents, and also, what is the energy that we're here to learn from that. So the Cancer energy is kind of, if you think of adolescent girl energy, this energy, this immature competition, where did that come in? We had that somewhere, didn't we? Or maybe not. Maybe I'm thinking of another. Oh, no, right here. And again, this is a 5, and this is a 5, and this is a 5. So, this energy is about change. The 5 is about being caught in the middle, right? If you're caught in the middle of a situation of two extremes, and you don't want to have to participate in that energy, if you're caught in a tug of war, just let go of the rope and see what happens. That's the energy. So thinking of adolescent girls not being mature enough yet to be able to deal with all the emotions like of being an adult. And quite often, young girls at that age are getting their cycle for the first time, and the hormones are raging, and they can become very emotional, and it's a roller coaster. And so they can become very dramatic energy, and the ups and downs, laughing one minute and the next minute crying. If the smallest thing might make them like break their heart that day, and something that when, in a few years when they're more mature, they're going to go like, what would, why was I so entrenched in that kind of energy? But this is also talking about the ability to feel, and being able to feel the energy, and about being able to use your intuition. So this energy is also, we're talking here, not just the worldly desires here, but otherworldly. So being, not only having a beautiful life in the physical, but also on the spiritual level. And, you can have a beautiful life on the planet, like with beautiful things, but if you're not in your heart's desires, there's going to be some sort of emptiness around that. And then the justice is talking justice for the star. Okay, so the justice is for the star energy coming in, and it's about not having to carry burdens that no longer belong to you, and also about being able to reap the harvest. And that means also, and it's sitting right on this immature competition energy. And then we have the Emperor coming in. So the Emperor is all about performance. The Emperor is all four kings from the minor arcana rolled into one person, someone who's very much an authority figure and has the authority to make great change. It's someone who's wise, someone that you can go to for, for mentoring, that kind of energy. The Emperor is all about performance, whatever field they are in their occupation, or, if whatever they do for a living, they are at the top of their field at it. They're a brilliant mind. They have the capacity of love. They are able to control their emotions. They're very mature that way and wise. It's that kind of energy. And then we have scotoma. So there's some sort of blind spot here. A scotoma is just a part of your eye where the pixels aren't working correctly. And you won't really notice in the big picture because it's a minor thing, but it still is saying you don't see the big picture. But none of us really do see the big picture. We think we see. A lot of people will say, I'll see it when I see it, I'll believe it. But really, you only see a very small spectrum of the light of what's there. And if you look at the dark energy that physicists talk about, this is full of energy, but we can't see what it is. So it's kind of like, oh, well, we'll just pretend that it's nothing. And I mean, it's 4% or whatever of the universe is what we don't know. And so that's kind of that saying that is like, the more I know, the more I know what I don't know, that kind of energy. And then we have the deception. Yeah, so there's some sort of energy here. This rough waters was caused, again, I'm getting by some sort of tactics, and there was an unfairness here. But the biggest deception in my oracle, it talks about the biggest deception being that there's a war between men and women. And that, men and women don't love each other. That's not, I feel like that's just ridiculous. I've met a lot of men that really love women, and I've met a lot of women that really love men. And if we were all exactly alike, how boring would that be? I mean, men are supposed to be men, and women are, supposed to be women. It's about being able to use that energy, and we all have the masculine and feminine qualities within us. So instead of thinking of it as gender, think about it as masculine and feminine energy that we can utilize to make the world a better place. And then we have the Chariot coming in. So this is like the power of spin, of moving forward, being on your path, being able to bring that energy in a really strong way. And then the Libra energy. So Libra is about being a mature adult that's able to socialize, being really able to anticipate the journey, because you're on, what you want in life, and you're mature enough to know now. It's not like this adolescent energy where you think, 1 week you're in love with this boy, and then he dumps you or whatever, and you're bawling your eyes out, and then a week later there's another, you're asked out on a date again, and oh, I'm in love again kind of energy, that adolescent girl energy, and the ability to really feel the emotions. That's the beauty of that stage of life. And so this is about being a little bit more mature. This is the Libra energy represents justice, and it's sitting right on justice. It's talking about being able to anticipate your journey, being mature enough to have a family and being able to raise them. It's not talking about an age per se, but a maturity level, right? Starting to anticipate, oh, okay, I'm on my path. I know what I want to do, and letting go of the expectations of how that's supposed to be, so that you can just roll with the punches kind of energy and continue on the path of bringing what you came into the world to bring. And then we've got judgment here. So there is some judgment coming in. And the judgment card in my oracle is a big pink dragon. She's flying through the air, and there's two of them. One of them is the judgment card, and this is the cosmic card. And so she's upright, and this is basically saying that we have to have judgment on the planet. Like, we have to have traditional structure and, laws and that to keep order. But this is talking also about God being the only one who could really properly judge another person, because God is the only one that has the whole picture and can see what other people have been through. Like, you might think you know someone, but you don't know what they've really been through. God does. That's the kind of energy. And then we have Sagittarius coming in. And this card comes in almost every reading right now because we just had that Sagittarius moon. And I also think it's because the energy already of the Chinese New Year, of moving into the year of the horse. This is about being able to cover ground more quickly, right? Adventure, expansion versus contraction kind of energy. Being allowed to really expand your horizons, and being able to like being at this mature age to go after what you really want, not what you thought you wanted kind of energy. And letting go of the expectations of exactly how this has to take place, because it's very rare that things happen exactly the way you think they're going to. And then we have the energy. I feel like this energy is coming in on several levels, but the mother's worry is kind of, if a mother can't see a brilliant future for their child, then who can? And it's kind of like the mother load of all the energy, It's moving forward and having being able to see that there's a possibility for a good future. The world isn't going to, the world, there's a lot that's wrong with the world, but there's a lot that's right with the world. And let's face it, the news doesn't focus on like the boring people that, that are just living their everyday lives. That's not who we normally see on the news. That would be boring, that kind of energy. So this is also talking about having to let go of the way things used to be. And I'm also getting this energy, it's been coming in, that this is representing the earth itself, like just the energy of the earth. A lot of people call the earth like Mother Earth. So that I feel like it's that kind of energy. And then we have dissemination of information. So this is, when there's an elephant in the room and everybody can see the elephant, but everybody talks around it. Elephant? What elephant? This can be about believing in your own press. And sometimes, like, when people are wanting to motivate other people, they'll say, believe in yourself. It's important that you believe in yourself. A lot of people have limiting beliefs about themselves, and they have expectations about who they are and how that's going to play out, and that creates limitations. So a lot of people limit themselves by believing things about themselves that are not true. Like, I don't have the ability to change the world. I don't have the ability to pass that exam and be at the top of my field, that kind of energy. This is talking about, be careful what you believe in, especially when it comes to yourself. And then we have disruption. And this is talking about all the disruption in the world. And a lot of times people will think about disruption as really like, nature events, flooding, hurricanes, that kind of energy, disrupting what's going on. There's a lot of political disruption around the world right now, that kind of energy. But also what it's talking about, what's fun for some is not fun for everyone. And it's kind of like the energy of like, we're moving into the holiday season right now. We're right in it. That's, and when we're in the holiday season, if everything in our life is going wonderful and we have wonderful family to visit and all of that, it's great. It's wonderful. It's we love the holiday season. Other people might be going through some major difficulty, and they may have just lost a loved one, and this is the first Christmas without them. That kind of energy, and that energy. So it's recognizing that what's fun for some people is not fun for everyone, and when we have the holiday season, it's a really good time to go inward and, enjoy your family and enjoy the holidays and all of that. But it's also, if you don't even celebrate that, pretty much the world comes to, during the holiday season, we have a lot of religions celebrating major holidays at this time. And then we have the New Year coming in. And pretty much from this point till January, like 3rd, 4th, 5th kind of energy, there's not going to, you're not going to get a lot of business done unless you're in retail, like you're in in a flurry of activity right now. But after Christmas, then it's kind of like this, we have this 10-day period kind of where we could just start putting, before the new year comes, like putting things in order, that kind of energy, chilling out, really allowing ourselves to have time to meditate and to pray and to really get in touch with, okay, what is it that I want? Taking advantage of that time to not only be with friends and family and celebrate, but to also get, geared up for the incoming year. And then we have attachment. Yeah. And hey, this is the mother of all karmic spaces that we can all fall into, because if we become really attached to the way things were, and we say, oh, when I grew up, things were this way. Well, they're not that way anymore. Or if you become really attached to a person, but they don't want to be in your life. If you become attached to a career and you're fired, and now you're not able to get out of that attachment, it's going to cause a lot of issues for you. So I'm just getting that this is talking a lot like global influences and moving into this new energy in the new year. Like, let's make the best of it. And, let's let go of what's not working, and let's move forward in more productive ways with more love and, more understanding, learn from our past mistakes. And then this is the dissension. So dissension is kind of talking about, it's with friends like this who needs enemies and swimming with sharks. And the good news is you're highly unlikely to be eaten by a shark. Most people don't even live close to the ocean, but there's a lot of human sharks out there, unfortunately. And with the new technologies in that, it's a lot easier to fall for scams and that kind of energy. So it's kind of talking about, there's a saying, keep your friends close and keep your enemies closer. And also talking about frenemies, like people that you think are like on the same path as you, and they're really happy that you're doing what you're doing, and they're in alignment with your path, but they're really not. And that's the kind of energy that we're talking about when it comes to dissension, like divide and conquer kind of energy. And then we have the shooting star. So you're having a good attitude is more likely. That's about like talking about this energy down here. If you have a good, strong attitude, then you're more likely to have your wishes come true than if you have a bad attitude. I like that. That's absolutely true. I do hope you've enjoyed this reading. I feel this was just a kind of a message to uplift people moving into this new energy. I'd say enjoy your loved ones right now as much as you can, and get into this energy of really preparing to move forward in the best possible, way that you can in the new year, and have a strong attitude. Like, you know, the world is a beautiful place, and it's also a challenging place. So, but there's possibilities in all those challenges. Really awesome energy. So bye for now, and I will have another reading for you again tomorrow.